Can a computer detect cancer faster than a human? I mean, that's a huge question, right? And today, we're going to break down how a new wave of tech is trying to do just that. Not by replacing human experts, but by becoming their most powerful partner yet. So, we're exploring the incredible world where artificial intelligence meets medicine. Specifically, we're talking about how AI is teaming up with pathologists, the medical detectives who diagnose diseases. Okay, so to really get why AI is such a game changer here, you first have to understand the enormous pressure pathologists are under every single day. Just try to imagine this. You're looking through a microscope for hours on end, analyzing millions of tissue samples. Every single slide holds the key to someone's diagnosis, their treatment plan, their life. It takes incredible focus, right? But with that kind of volume, human fatigue is a very real thing. Mistakes can happen. And that's exactly where technology is starting to change the game. And this new approach, well, it doesn't actually start with AI. It starts with something much more fundamental, changing how we even look at these samples in the first place. And that first crucial step is called digital pathology. The easiest way to think about it, it's like taking an old school photograph and scanning it to create a super high-res digital file. We're taking that physical glass slide and turning it into something called a whole slide image, or WSI for short. See, once that information is just pixels on a screen, a computer can finally get to work on it. Okay, now this is where it gets really, really cool. Now that we have all this digital data, we can actually teach an AI to see and recognize patterns almost like a human expert would. The tech behind all this magic is called a convolutional neural network, or CNN. And look, the simplest way to think about it is this. You feed the AI thousands and thousands of slide images that human experts have already labeled. The AI just crunches through all that data and learns to spot the telltale signs of disease. Weirdly shaped cells, specific tissue patterns, the whole shebang. It basically becomes a pattern recognition powerhouse. So what does this actually look like in a lab? It's basically a 4-step workflow. First, you digitize the slide. Simple enough. Second, the AI scans that massive digital image at a speed no human ever could. Third, it flags any areas that look suspicious. And fourth, and this is so important, the human pathologist comes in, reviews only those flagged areas, and makes a final call. The expert is still in the driver's seat. And listen, this isn't just some sci-fi theory. This technology is already out there in real labs making a real-world impact right now. I mean, AI is being used all over the place here. In hematology, for instance, it's automating that super tedious job of counting different blood cells. In histopathology, it's acting like a first line of defense, screening biopsies for common cancers like breast and prostate. It's even helping make things like pap smear screenings more accurate and bringing a whole new level of consistency to grading tumors. And this is where you can really see how AI solves some of these age-old challenges. Let's take tumor grading. For years, that's been kind of subjective, right? You could show the same slide to 2 different experts and they might give slightly different grades. But an AI, when it's trained on a standardized set of data, it gives a consistent, repeatable analysis every single time. That massively reduces that variability, and it's a huge leap forward for consistent diagnostics. So, all of this leads to the big question, right? Is the AI taking the pathologist's job? And the answer is a hard no. It's not about replacement. It's all about partnership. Look, like any powerful tool, AI has 2 sides to it. The benefits are obvious. Unbelievable speed, it never gets tired, and it's super consistent. But it has its limits. Its analysis is only as good as the digital slide it's given, and it can sometimes miss really rare or weird variations that it just wasn't trained to see. And that's exactly why expert human oversight is and will be absolutely essential. There's a quote that really just nails it. It says, AI in pathology is highly valuable for screening, but still requires expert oversight for complex cases and final diagnosis. And that says it all, really. The AI is an amazing screening tool. It can find that needle in the haystack. But when it comes to the tough calls, and especially when it's time to sign off on that final diagnosis, the human expert is still in charge. So if you take one thing away from this, let it be this. This is a story of collaboration, not replacement. The whole goal is to let the AI handle the massive volume, the repetitive stuff, so that our highly trained human experts can free up their brain power to focus on what they do best, tackling the most complex, the most nuanced cases where human judgment is everything. And that really leaves us with a question to think about for the future. As this tech gets better and better, as it gets woven into our healthcare, would you trust a diagnosis that was co-signed by an AI? It's a question we're all going to have to think about, probably a lot sooner than we think.